Hey, Dr. Shaunna here, and welcome to tonight's menu. What we have cooking is a cherry pecan, however you like to say it, ricotta and balsamic shallot pizza. So my boys love pizzas. Friday night typically is a pizza night, and so if you have a crew like mine, well, here's a healthier version that can sort of satisfy that, but then also is geared to some grown-up taste. The thing I love about pizzas is you can even have, we used to have do-it-yourself pizza nights. So as long as we had the base, I would set out all the toppings, and it was a great way to get the kids to put vegetables in because it's kind of boring not to put anything on the pizza. And if I had all of those out there, no doubt they would try a little bit of most things. And so it was a good little sneak. So right now, what I've done, and feel free as you are joining us, just please say hi and let us know where you are joining us from tonight and how things are going in your neck of the woods. So right now I've got the oven preheated to 400 degrees, and I'm gonna take and just say hi, and we're gonna get these pizzas going. So what I've got for the base is I've made it super easy. We've got these tortillas. These are whole grain, 100% whole grain. That's the most important thing. These happen to be an ancient grain. If you're gluten-free, then pick something that is gluten-free. There's lots of options, but these work extremely well, and you can get the thicker ones or the thinner ones. Today I'm using these thinner pitas, but you can either use a pita or a tortilla. And so first off, what we're gonna do is gonna take pure avocado oil, because we're gonna be using some heat, and it's got a higher smoke point, so best price there is Costco for that. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil all on these, leaving a rim for crust of a pizza. So that's gonna be the first step, is just the oil. That's pretty easy, and just brushing it on. It's really good to have like a brush. The other thing too is I've put these on cookie sheets or baking sheets with parchment paper. It makes it easy cleanup. We don't need any oils on the bottom, and it just makes things not stick and a lot easier and cleaner. So I love to use parchment paper for my cooking, anything that's baking. So once we've got that, now this recipe technically is for 4. Normally we have all 6 of us. One of my sons is on his way to Seattle today, so I'm going to need a little bit more oil. That's about 2 tablespoons of oil there, and give or take. There we go. Okay, so once we've got the oil, then the next thing we're going to brush on is just garlic hummus. So half a cup of garlic hummus. You can make your own hummus, but this is one thing that you can get very easily already done. It's also easy to make, but if you're doing a quick meal like we are, like a kind of a 10-20 minute meal, this is great. So you can just spoon on a bit and then just get this garlic hummus. You can use just regular garlic, or regular hummus rather, and add the garlic to it. The great thing about this is, and this is a lovely non-GMO garlic hummus, great flavor as a base. We've got the oil, the garlic, and the hummus, but also it's giving us a nice vegetarian protein punch there, given that those chickpeas. So excellent. So this is just going to be the base of our pizza. And I quite often will do this. You know, one of my favorite hummuses is with like a caramelized onion, but you can get those ready done as well. But that is just such a lovely flavor, and a really great option if you are, wanting a good weight maintenance plan and you're looking for a dip. Try hummus. That works really good. So I'm just going to add more of this here. And this recipe is in Meal Cure. You can check that out at mealcure.com, and it's under the Cherry Week, which was, well, technically it's this week, but I've already posted next week's, which is a Tomato Week, in there, so it's the middle one. Thursday is our day that we shift over to a new batch of recipes. All right, This one's a little bit more, might be more boring to watch, but I didn't want to prep it all beforehand. Sometimes I do. Grab a little more of that hummus. Then the last thing that we're going to add, you know, pizzas quite often have cheese, so we're going to add some ricotta cheese on there, and that is lovely mixed in. And this is, as I say, a great way to get some protein in there, great vegetarian protein. There we go. Okay, so the hummus is on, leaving a rim. Hopefully you're able to see all of that. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing but with ricotta. A little less of the ricotta, about a 1/4 cup, just to give it that little extra flavor. And these pizzas, I quite often will do a pizza, just given my boys in our meal plans. And you can customize them by changing the type of cheese, the type of hummus, but it's a great way. Sometimes what we're adding on is protein in and of itself, so that's great. So you can just see it's going to be all covered up with some great toppings. There we go. And then we're going to add our toppings, and you can see that I have them on this last. I'll bring them up to the camera here as well once we've just got this smeared around quickly. And of course it's cherry week. Now in our cherry week, not all the recipes have the superfood of the week, at least 2, but never all 5. So somewhere 2, 3, 4, or 5 will have the food of the week. Sorry, 2, 3, or 4 of the recipes will have the food of the week. This one happens to. So we've got some cherries, about 1.5 cups of cherries that I've just sliced up, and it's so great right now. I don't know if you have cherries in your neck of the wood, but we're gonna put this on this cherry pizza. So we've got our garlic hummus, we've got sliced up and pitted. Now, pitting cherries. You know what, if you do it a lot and you want a cherry pitter, that's great. I don't have one. There are many ways that you can pit cherries. The obvious is just slicing it in half and popping out the cherry. Sometimes that's easier said than done. There's a great way, and I was almost gonna demo it. If you have, say, like, oh, I don't know, maybe a wine bottle left over, you can put the cherry on top of the opening of the used olive oil bottle or wine bottle, and then take a chopstick or a thick-ended skewer and just pop out, take the stem off and pop out the pit so that the pit falls into the bottle, and then you can just slice up the cherry or leave it whole. And that works pretty well. It can, depending on how juicy your cherries are, it can be a little messy. Okay, so we've got 1.5 cups of these beautiful cherries. They're totally in season right now. That's the point. Then we've got a 1/4 cup, a generous 1/4 cup of pecans, and we've chopped those up. Hey, Joanne, nice to see you. So we're gonna add that because cherries and pecan, oh my goodness, with the ricotta, it's gonna be so good. And then we're gonna cook up some balsamic shallots in a minute that are gonna go on that, as well as some feta and arugula. So you can see how this is shaping up nicely, super easy. So pecans, another little bit of a protein punch there as well. I'm always looking to see how we can add that in. All right. Okay, so that's a 1/4 cup of pecans, and now fresh grated Parmesan. I like the Parmigiano Reggiano. I was gonna bring it out here, but the real good brick, maybe, would you be able to get that brick? I don't know if we can get that, but it's like aged for 30 months. I'm just gonna put this Parmesan on. And so I freshly grind it. You put it in, I like to put it in this grinder from Pampered Chef, actually, is where I have this one. Maybe others have it from somewhere else. And you just pop the piece of cheese in there, the hard cheese, and then you grind it up. very strong flavor. Little goes a long way. When you do it this way, you don't have all of that excess sodium and anything else. It's really much better. And as I say, a little bit goes a long way. So I was able to get one from Costco again that was from Italy. And it's got a really good taste and nutrient profile, and it lasts like forever. Like I think it's good till May of 2019. So, and I think it says it was produced in 2015. So in case you're watching the replay of this, we're halfway through 2018 at the moment. All right, so now we've got just to review, a whole grain tortilla or a pita. We brushed it with some avocado oil, pure avocado oil, garlic hummus, get some protein on there and some good flavor. So ricotta cheese, about a quarter cup of that. And then we've put on a cup and a half of cherries, a quarter cup of chopped pecans, and half a cup of fresh grated Parmesan. And now in the oven we go. So we're gonna roast that for about 10 minutes. And that's going to be great for that cheese and also the and also those pecans, those nuts. All right, so next up we are going to slice up. I've sliced up 2 shallots. Such a good flavor in those, and they look so pretty. So I've sliced those up. What we're gonna do, just gonna heat up my element. Gonna get a little bit more of this oil here, about a tablespoon of oil. And I'm gonna add in my shallots. I'm laughing because I caught sight of my, you can bring the camera up here for a minute. I'm gonna confess. So I'm gonna put the fan on. So one of the previous, but maybe a couple of weeks ago, I can't even remember which meal I was cooking. And I was mixing away and cooking away, and this is a gas stove, and what I hadn't realized on my wooden spoon is that the edge of it had actually literally caught in fire, and it had gone under there while we were scanning, and I saw my husband trying to take it, and you can see while I was speaking the recipe that I just do a big huge sort of like that kind of thing. Well, this is why, this is what happened to this, and I was kind of laughing at my husband trying to put out the fire literally. Anyways, back to here. I'm gonna use it. It's it is a challenge to sort of cook and manage a camera at the same time. So we've got 2 shallots that we've sliced up here, and we're gonna just start to caramelize them. When we cook onions, they get such a nice sweet flavor to them. So we'll let those caramelize up. And then to that, I'm going to add a couple of things just to up-level the flavor on these. And then we're gonna put this on top of our pizza when they're out of the oven. And oh, so good. This is such a great flavor. So what I'm gonna add now is a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, actually 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. So I had about a tablespoon of avocado oil initially, and then a couple of tablespoons, and we're gonna mix that around just to coat that. And then I'm gonna add, I'm going to turn the heat down a little. I'll add salt, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And about a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh ground pepper. Okay, and then we're gonna just up the sweetness just a tad here. Oh, I forgot my timer here. I'll add that here. We're gonna add a tablespoon of, which one had the oil? This one did. If you use the same tablespoon that you had oil in, it tends to come out a little bit easier. So a tablespoon of honey. That is just another little trick. So now we've got this glazed, balsamic glazed shallots that are going to be just so delish. Oh, if you could smell this right now, oh, it is starting to smell phenomenal. This is so good. By the way, that ricotta chicken that I did the other night with ricotta and cherry stuffed chicken, you gotta try that. That ancho chili pepper that we put on top with the salt and pepper and the oil, oh, so good. We each had a chicken breast and everybody wanted more. It was so good. All right. You gotta try that. And so simple, and yet it looks quite fancy. So we're gonna just let this go until it reduces. It pretty much is, and it's tender. And I'm gonna just bring that up so you can kind of take a look. Too bad you can't have smell-o-vision. But these onions, these shallots, are just doing extremely well. So once we are done, I'll let you bring the camera up. So once we have the, hey Corey, yeah, you're gonna have to try this pizza, minus the balsamic vinegar, though. I know if you have sulfite allergies, or if you have allergies to anything, obviously if you have allergies to peanuts, don't use peanuts. If you have allergies to, you know, anything that I'm doing, obviously, right? So once these pizzas are out of the oven, and they're so easy to do, and you can just change the toppings to whatever you like, but that hummus and the ricotta is a nice base. It's a pretty common one that I will do. Then once those come out, I'm going to put those lovely shallots, sprinkle them on top. Hey Dylan, good to see you. And then I'm going to top it off with some crumbled feta and some arugula. And that arugula on top of that pizza, so good. So good. And it's a great way to get greens into your diet. So that's just our cherry pecan ricotta and balsamic shallot pizza, and quick and easy. This will be done in, you know, just a couple of minutes, and dinner's ready. So, you know, try that out. We've done quite a few different pizzas. This one with the cherry and the pecan and the balsamic has quite a different taste, and more of a little bit sweeter taste. But change it up, experiment, have fun with it. And this is meal number 3 at mealcure.com this week in Cherry Week. So if you're new to that, check it out at mealcure.com. That is an online superfood meal planning service I created to help take the stress and the chaos out of what's for dinner and put the fun, joy, ease, and of course, most of all, the health right back in. It's important to have fun with your food. Enjoy it. And it's important to have fun with your exercise. Enjoy it. And, you know, move your body because it feels good, and eat your food because it tastes great and feels good. So be good for you is always the message. All right, have a phenomenal weekend, and of course, be good for you.